Behind the chrome and sparks of American Chopper was a story far darker than anything shown on TV. Millions of fans saw Paul Teutul Sr. and Jr. building custom bikes, but what they didn't see was a family slowly tearing itself apart. For years, the cameras captured explosions, walkouts, and the infamous chair-throwing scene. But those moments were just the surface of a much deeper war, one fueled by jealousy, control, and broken trust. Now, in 2025, Paul Jr. was finally ready to reveal what really happened behind closed doors, and the truth is far more shocking than the show ever admitted. Most kids of the 80s spent their summers playing Nintendo or riding BMX bikes. Paul Teutul Jr. was different. At just 12, while his friends enjoyed cartoons, he was sweeping floors in the heat of Orange County ironworks. His earliest toys weren't action figures. They were scrap pieces of steel scavenged from his dad's job sites. Junior turned them into sculptures, already dreaming like a builder. By 14, he was welding with a precision that surprised even the seasoned workers. But alongside his talent came a tough reality. His father, Paul Sr., wasn't the type to hand out praise. Instead, he pushed his son harder than anyone, often yelling at him in front of other employees. Mistakes weren't tolerated, and Junior felt the pressure constantly. To outsiders, it looked cruel. To Senior, it was the only way to toughen his boy. That clash of intensity and creativity shaped everything to come. And while Junior earned respect early, the tension with his father was already simmering, foreshadowing a storm that would erupt years later. By 19, Paul Jr. wasn't just the kid sweeping up after others. He was running the railing division of Orange County Ironworks, a department that made up nearly half of the company's revenue. Customers didn't just want strong railings anymore, they wanted his designs. His clean, modern style stood out, making projects both durable and beautiful. Skeptical workers twice his age soon admitted the kid knew exactly what he was doing. Junior had earned his position, not inherited it. Even Paul Sr., a man slow to show approval, had moments of quiet respect. One summer, Junior redesigned a railing for both strength and style. Sr. initially dismissed it, but days later he approved it and never mentioned his change of heart. That silent acknowledgement meant more than any words. Still, Junior felt boxed in. Building stairs and railings was stable work, but it wasn't his dream. He wanted something that moved, something alive. Late at night, he began sketching motorcycles in secret notebooks, an outlet that would soon shift his destiny. And as fate would have it, his father's interest in bikes was about to resurface too. The turning point came when Paul Sr. noticed the motorcycles Junior had been sketching. They weren't rough doodles, they were works of art. For once, Sr. wasn't critical, he was impressed. That spark ignited something bigger. In 1999, father and son scraped together about $175,000 from their ironworks business and launched Orange County Choppers. The ownership split wasn't equal. Sr. held 80%, Junior just 20%, but at the time it didn't matter. They had a dream, a basement full of tools and determination. Their first custom build, True Blue, took 4 grueling months. Long nights, freezing conditions, and endless welding sessions finally produced a bike that turned heads. When they unveiled it at Daytona, jaws dropped. It looked like something from a top-tier builder, not two men working out of a basement in upstate New York. Success wasn't instant, though. By 2000, they were still struggling in a cramped, freezing shop where tools broke and suppliers demanded cash up front. Junior often slept on a couch to keep projects on schedule, but that raw persistence laid the foundation for something bigger, until one phone call changed everything. In 2002, a phone call arrived that neither father nor son expected. A TV producer had seen their work in a magazine and pitched an idea for a show. At first, Paul Sr. dismissed it. "We build from scratch, not junkyard restos," he barked, nearly ending the deal. But producers returned with a better pitch. Film the real shop, arguments and all. Junior hated the idea, fearing cameras would ruin everything. He even wrote a 5-page letter warning his dad they'd be made to look like fools. But money was tight, and they eventually signed. On March 31, 2003, American Chopper premiered and exploded. Within 3 episodes, millions were tuning in. Their tiny shop became a tourist attraction, merch flew off shelves, and Discovery made millions in ad revenue. Fans loved Senior's temper, but it was Junior's quiet brilliance that kept them watching. One clip of him silently shaping a gas tank became one of the most requested scenes ever aired. The Pauly effect boosted welding schools nationwide, but fame is a double-edged sword, and the spotlight would only magnify the cracks already forming inside the Teutul family. At first, the show's drama felt like entertainment, but behind the cameras, resentment was building. Junior's designs became the face of OCC, while Senior's old-school methods faded into the background. For a man who prided himself on brute strength and authority, it was hard to swallow. By 2008, the shop felt more like a battlefield. Explosive arguments became routine. The infamous chair-throwing incident wasn't staged. It was the final straw after years of tension. Sr. fired Jr. on the spot. The fallout rocked the business, the show, and the family. Sr. didn't stop there. He sued Jr., trying to force him to sell his 20% stake for just $500,000. When Jr. refused, Sr. demanded $1.5 million in damages. The case landed in the New York Supreme Court, where a vague contract clause almost cost Jr. everything. At first, the ruling favored Sr., but on appeal, Jr. shocked everyone, winning the right to keep his stake. He wasn't just back on his feet, he'd beaten his father in court, and with that victory, Jr. was ready to strike back harder than ever. Even though he'd won in court, Jr. couldn't build bikes immediately. A one-year non-compete clause barred him from competing with OCC, so he pivoted. From his house, he and his wife turned a spare room into an office. He designed everything from dog parks to grills for Coleman. It wasn't glamorous, but it kept him alive. When the clause expired in 2010, Jr. made his boldest move yet. He opened Paul Jr. Designs directly across the street from OCC. Then came the mutiny. Key OCC crew members, including Vinny DiMartino, Cody Connolly, and even Mikey, defected to Jr.'s side. It was a gut punch for Sr. Discovery Channel pounced on the drama, launching Sr. vs. Jr., a spin-off that turned their feud into weekly entertainment. Fans picked sides, and the tension grew more real with every episode. But while lawsuits and cameras rage, Jr. found something unexpected: love. And that part of the story would soon change everything. In the middle of lawsuits and reality TV chaos, Jr. met Rachel Beast during a shoot. What started as on-screen chemistry quickly became something real. Rachel wasn't just a partner, she became the steady ground he desperately needed. They married in 2010 in a grand ceremony, complete with a 6-tier cake from TLC's Cake Boss. But one chair at the wedding sat empty. Paul Sr. had been invited, but he refused to come. The absence was a painful reminder that the family fracture wasn't just business, it was deeply personal. Over time, Jr. and Rachel leaned heavily into their faith. They made unconventional choices, like waiting until marriage, and later shared their spiritual journey publicly. In 2015, after years of struggling to conceive, they welcomed their son, Hudson. Fatherhood changed Jr.'s perspective. Holding his son forced him to reflect on his own father, and for the first time, he understood the pain of watching a child walk away. Personal healing had begun, but the feud with Sr. still loomed large, overshadowing even the most intimate moments of his life. Even as his personal life blossomed, the professional rivalry with his father intensified. Between 2010 and 2016, the two faced off in several high-profile build-offs. Jr.'s creations, like the P-51 Mustang-inspired bike, stunned crowds with sleek lines and artistic precision. Sr. stuck with raw, aggressive machines. Out of 7 televised competitions, Jr. won 5. Each victory silenced critics who thought he couldn't succeed without OCC. Meanwhile, Paul Jr. designs expanded far beyond bikes. He partnered with Blizzard Entertainment, Paramount, and Coleman, creating designs seen by millions worldwide. His company became a $14 million brand, outpacing OCC in both influence and profit. For fans, the rivalry became legendary, a Shakespearean family drama played out in chrome and steel. But while Jr. was cementing his legacy, one question remained: could the father-son feud ever truly end? In 2018, producers staged a reunion between father and son. The excuse: rebuild the Yankees-themed chopper from 2005, which had mysteriously been destroyed. The cameras rolled, but the warmth wasn't there. Tension hung in the air, and separate shooting schedules kept them apart whenever possible. Fans hoped it would spark healing, but insiders knew it was strictly business. 2 years later came The Last Ride, a 2-hour special meant to bring closure. Instead, it reopened wounds. As they worked on a patriotic bike together, old patterns resurfaced, Sr. dismissing Jr.'s ideas, Jr. quietly pushing forward. When the build was done, Sr. bluntly admitted it hadn't helped their relationship at all. Fans were furious, flooding social media with hashtags like Respect Paul Jr. As of 2025, the two still live completely separate lives. They haven't shared a holiday meal in over 15 years, not even after Hudson was born. Anytime they appear together now, it's because of a production contract, not family. The dream of reconciliation seems farther away than ever. This October, Paul Jr. releases his new memoir, Given the Opportunity. Unlike his first book, which focused on faith and career, this one promises to reveal the raw, unfiltered truth. Insiders say it includes details that never made it to television, like a near-physical fight in 2008 that producers cut from American Chopper. It also addresses Sr.'s struggles with alcohol and the lasting damage it inflicted on the family. For years, Jr. stayed quiet, fearing backlash or further division. But now, he says he's no longer hiding the truth. His goal isn't revenge, it's connection. He believes sharing his story might help others who've endured toxic family battles of their own. For fans, it's the moment they've been waiting for, a behind-the-scenes account from the man who lived it. For the Teutul family, it may reopen old wounds. And for Paul Jr., it's a chance to finally step out from under the shadow of his father, not just as a bike builder, but as a man who survived one of reality TV's most explosive family feuds.